Hey, Karl.
Adam Crowley's always say that. Don't do your best. Do my best. Then it'll get done right.
I've seen your best. Your best stinks.
Yeah, I know. It's not great.
You should do my best.
Vinnie, what's going on in the AFC East?
Buffalo's still in first place.
Yeah, by a lot.
Yeah, I know.
You notice that?
Yeah.
Good times.
You're a real prick. You know that?
I do.
You're listening to the Karl Network.
Attention parents, what you're about to see is not suitable for kids. Shoot, it's not even suitable for some grown-ups. You might want to walk away now if you ain't into these type of things.
I'm going to give the people what they want. Sensation, horror, shock.
I'm going to deliver the goods because I'm alive and I'm not backing down.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
I denounce it.
Hola, creepos. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite true crime podcast. Your and my favorite, not Karl's. According to WATP, his favorite is Sword and Scale. So he could just go fuck himself right now.
Hey, if you want to give me $1,000 as a super tip, I'll change my mind. I'll switch my allegiance.
Hot Karl.
What is happening, Vinnie Paulino? Good to see you, my friend. Happy Veterans Day. Shout out to all the veterans out there.
Big shout out to all the veterans out there. We love you. We're big fans.
And of course, as you know, when it's Veterans Day, it means it's also a Super Chat Monday.
Certainly is. Now, you could get your super chats in early if you like. You could get them in late. Just send them on in.
We don't really care what time they come in, to be honest.
Whatever's good.
But Koof cares because he wants to thank all of you for not killing yourselves. Thank you, Koof.
Thank you.
For not killing yourself.
Thank you, everyone, for not doing that. We truly appreciate it. Now, Karl.
We need you here, guys.
I got some big news out of the gate.
What do we got?
Well, you know that girl we have on here all the time, Danny?
Yes.
The one with the boobs?
Yeah, I know Danny,
Yeah.
I remember.
They're getting bigger because she had her baby.
Did she really?
The baby came Thursday night, 6 pounds, 14 ounces.
Sounds kind of small.
Well, I don't know. Sounds like giving birth to a turkey, if you ask me.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to do it, but the baby's healthy. Everyone's happy.
Baby's good.
Great.
Baby's good. She sent me pictures of the baby.
Okay.
But, you know.
Did you ask for that?
Well, all I'm going to say is this.
Newborns aren't really all that attractive.
I deleted them immediately. I do not have pictures of children on my computer. So little Lady K is with us. She's good.
Good.
So Danny is not going to be here for a couple of weeks. She's nursing and taking care of this little one.
Right.
So
how are we going to find out what the results were? So there's no more contest anymore? We're just going to be done competing? Because as you know, Vinny, you and I compete every single week to find the creepiest person in a given category. And then you find folks who listen and view the show. You go to thecreepoff.com and you vote for who you thought brought the bigger creep that week. And then we play up to a score of 5. When someone gets 5, the other person has to spin the dreaded wheel of consequences. So I got to imagine that if we don't have a results girl, then we'll never know who won anymore.
Karl, we do have a results girl.
We
here
do.
Today. We do. My hell yeah, we do.
My hell yeah. What's happening?
Hello, friends. Good to be here.
Good to see you again in that big echoey house of yours.
Stock photo of a house.
Yes.
I know, big echoey house, not as cool, not as fun as big boobs, but I guess I'll just have to do.
Well, at least you know your role. At least you understand where you stand.
You're not pregnant, are you?
No. Didn't need to see the photos, but it was just enough for me to remember to take that.
There's a dog. Is that a dog running around in the back?
It is likely, yes. That is my dog child. Choosing that over human children myself. But big congratulations to Danny. Hope that you and baby are doing well. Heard that he's a real cutie.
It's a she.
Heard she's a real cutie. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? It hasn't decided its gender yet. So
that's true.
Let's give it its own autonomy.
I believe it's baby's choice is how that works.
As it should be. As it should be.
Now, last week was election week. The country spoke, but did the listeners of the Creep Off speak? Who did they decide brought the creepiest presidential candidate?
I think last week was a big, important week, but there was, for me personally, and I think for the viewers, an even more important election that took place. So let's get to those results, the ones that really matter.
Correct.
Last week, with 70% of the vote, the creepiest presidential candidate of all time is Vinnie and the Impaler, Jonathan Sharkey. Please. That does bring our score to 4-3. Vinnie has pulled into the lead, and I think it's game point. So I hope you can.
One more for the good guys.
Unreal.
Come from behind, baby. That's what I do. Game point, Karl.
No, I don't like that. I don't like the sound of that. Good thing I brought it today. I don't have to worry about it. We'll be tying it up 4-4, but I guess congrats on your win.
Thanks, friend.
I guess. Supposed to say that.
Okay.
I feel really good about this. That would actually.
All right. So Vinny's up 4-3. Guys, please listen to the presentations today and go and vote at thecreepoff.com afterwards. The poll will be up there ready for you as soon as the show is over.
That's right. Now, Mahalia, do you have anything you want to plug?
I just want to really
asshole.
Wow, you really are salty at her for not making the word Jesus Christ. Karl.
I am just here to read the results. As inside scoop with the elections process here, I can say that we have full voter integrity here with the Creep Off channel. So you don't have to worry about anything being rigged, stolen. It's all real. It's all about the viewers.
That's true.
Making your voices heard. So make sure you vote this weekend. If you feel so inclined, feel free to give me a follow at Mahalia. I followed and am followed by the Creep Off. So,
when people think of the Creep Off, I want them to think voter integrity.
I want that too.
Thank you, Mahalia. I will see you soon.
Thanks, Mahalia.
All right. Great to see her. What a good job she does.
She did a very bad job today.
What are you talking about?
Those were not the results I was hoping
You
for.
told her to go put in a butt plug. You want her to be your best friend?
I was just assuming what she was going to say next. Some people need help with that. I've worked with you for a number of years now. I know that sometimes you can't finish a sentence. I need help.
That is true. I am a fool. I'm a illiterate animal. Karl, today, this is going to be a good one.
Okay.
The last 3 Veterans Days, we have done a branch of the military. We started off with the Army. We did the Navy. We have done the Air Force. That leaves us the Marines.
Space Force. Oh, Marines. I guess there aren't a lot
of
Space
Force will be next year.
Yeah. We got to give people some time to be creeps over there first.
Yeah. I'm sure that there's somebody over there using satellites to look under kids' skirts.
Can you do that? I guess if they're in China.
Maybe. Probably.
I'm not sure how that would work.
So we do love the veterans, and I think the best way we can celebrate them is to call out the pieces of shit among them and to tell the rest of them that they're great. So to all of you who are not creeps, we love you.
We love you. We appreciate you. But some of you people, and listen, these people, they go through a lot, hanging out in the desert for 9 months, 12 months in a row with nothing but crazy people around you. I understand it's going to make you flip sometimes and do awful things. I think we're going to probably present a couple of those today.
All right. Well, Karl, I know I'm going to. Why don't you hit the bell and I will get this going. Now, Karl, I'm going to have a hard time saying my creep's last name, so I'll just call him Andy. His name's Andrew Urdiales. He was a corporal in the Marines, Karl.
Okay.
Now, he was described as a loner. He was an average student in school. He was from Chicago. And in his yearbook, the title that they gave him was social outcast.
Oh, I didn't know that was one of the categories they voted for.
Not thought of well by his classmates is my point.
That's a weird one.
Yeah. They said he had an odd twitch and he couldn't carry on conversations with people. He was very shy. Apparently he was bullied a lot. And as you can imagine, that does not make for a fun personality.
I thought the Marines were the proud, the few, like the cream of the crop is how they present that to us.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. He joined the Marines not long after high school. They end up stationing him in Southern California, but a doctor who testified.
Poor guy had to go all the way to Southern California.
I'm just laying a foundation, just laying a base here. Settle down. That's not a point to harp on.
Fair enough.
The doctor, one of the psychiatrists who testified at his first trial, Karl, said that the reason why he joined the Marines was not because he was a patriot, was because he wanted to learn how to inflict the most damage he could on other people.
Nice. That's the place to learn it.
So he's a little bit of a sadist,
Okay.
from what I understand. He didn't make friends in the military, Karl, but I will tell you what he did find. Love.
Good.
He found love. He fell in love with a 15-year-old girl who he knocked up.
Oh, boy.
Now,
We're off to a bad start in this career.
Not great, but he was afraid of her parents and any military discipline, so they agreed she'd have an abortion. And he told that doctor who I just mentioned that he loved that girl and still loves that girl up until the day he died. Spoiler. But the law in the state of California and the righteous Marine Corps might not see it that way, he added. Okay. So they had the abortion. But he did knock up a 15-year-old. Now, that's pretty bad. That's not a good thing to do.
I mean, it's nothing that the singer in my high school band didn't do, but I guess he didn't knock her up, fortunately.
Well, that wasn't the only questionable thing he did while he was serving in the Marines, Karl.
Okay.
He was in the Marines from 1986 to 1991. And it turns out he murdered 5 women and raped and abducted another one during that time.
But he never loved those women.
No, just the 15-year-old underage kid.
Okay.
He loved. Now,
is this frowned upon when you're in the military?
It is.
Okay.
It is. But you know what? In spite of all of these things, Karl, he moved up the ladder. He was promoted several times.
Well,
statutory rapist and a serial killer.
I would imagine they didn't know about this, right, Vinnie? They were just like, look, you're doing a lot of things right. A few things wrong, but a lot of things right.
He got your serial killer badge. We're going to move you up to corporal.
It's
I don't know how it
Scouts.
fucking works.
You're gonna badge.
What do I know? What do I know? So here's a problem that he ran into. The other soldiers didn't like him, and he was outranking them. And eventually, when he got to the rank of corporal, the people who were under him just stopped listening to him.
I don't think you're allowed to do that in the military.
No, they did. They stopped listening to him, and he got demoted.
Really?
Yes. They're just like,
it doesn't even make sense.
It happened.
Okay.
And part of it was because they gave him a nickname. The men who were underneath him started calling him Corporal Urinalysis.
Okay.
Which I think is pretty good. Like, to his face.
Okay.
So he ends up getting out of, the Marines in 1991. But let me tell you about these murders real quick. Let me just touch on these because that's an important part of the story.
I would imagine.
The murders. Yeah.
Serial killer. You want to talk about the murders, probably.
Yeah. So in January 1986, he went to Saddleback Community College and he stalked a 23-year-old communications art student named Robin Branley and stabbed her 41 times. 2 years later, on July 17th,
my arm would get tired. How many times could you stab?
He's a Marine, dude. The few, the proud. He could. Right. 41 is nothing.
Good point.
If there was anything left of her, he would have kept going.
I can't even throw like steel tip darts.
God bless the USA. Well, fucking 41. And that's like the average. He likes to stab a lot.
Okay.
So the next one was a 29-year-old girl named Julie McGee. He shot her. Her body was found in a ditch, raped. 2 months later, Urdiales struck in San Diego, killing a 31-year-old named Mary Ann Wells, whose body was found in an abandoned warehouse.
Wait, how did he kill that one?
I believe they strangled her.
Okay. So he's learning how to do things a lot easier.
He's all over the board.
That's good, though, because, you stab someone with one hand, you're like, God, that was a lot of work. What if I just shot at someone with a bullet?
Well, that's a lot less work. He did learn his lesson because the next one, the fourth victim, was an 18-year-old girl named Tammy Irwin. Mm-hmm. They found her just shot in the face in the middle of the street in Palm Springs.
Oh, boy.
So that wasn't good. Now, like I said, he got out of the Air Force or the Marines, forgive me, in 1991. He's honorably discharged. He goes home to Chicago and moves in with his parents, but he decides to go back to California for a visit in 1992. That's when he met 19-year-old nurse Jennifer Abinson, who was in need of a ride to work. So he dropped her off at the hospital, and when he did, he asked for her phone number. And you know what she did, Karl?
What'd she do?
She did something you and I would hate.
Oh.
Fake phone number.
Yeah. Smart move, though.
Well, very. But here's the dumb move. Here's the dumb move. She finishes her shift. She comes out, and he's standing out there waiting for her.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "You need another ride, huh? You need another ride, honey?" And she's like, "Well, I guess he's still here. I guess I'll take it."
And then he invented Uber, and he is now a multi-millionaire.
He's be a giant creep if he's the guy who invented Uber.
Isn't that an amazing origin story?
If only that's what he did.
There's probably other nurses in other places that need a ride to work. And people with cars, they can drive them there.
We're talking 1992. They didn't have the cell phone technology to make this a reality.
Right.
So as they're driving, he says to her, "So what's the deal with this fake phone number you gave me?" Mm-hmm. At that point, she's like, how did you figure that out? Like, she had no idea this guy called her so quickly. Like, she just went and did her job.
She's like, "I'm a woman. You think I can remember 7 numbers in a row?"
That would have been a good defense. That would have been a great defense. But No, what he did was he starts punching her in the face, tied her hands, cut off her clothes, attempted to rape her, but he could not get it up, Karl.
Yeah.
So she starts taunting him because, that's what you want to do. She starts calling him a coward.
Yeah.
And then he beat her up a bit, bit her on her neck to the point that she started bleeding like he was a vampire, like he was John Sharkey, my creep last week. Then he put her in the trunk of his car. Eventually, she was able to get her hands untied, and she was able to hit that latch thing and pop open the trunk. She jumps out of the car and escapes. She runs down a highway naked from the waist down. He chases her after her with a machete.
It's a good thing to have in the car.
Right?
Some people have a baseball bat. Other people have a machete.
Well, serial killers, they come prepared.
Yep.
And she escaped. So she flags down a car. There's 2 other Marines in the car. And they get out and they see him with the machete, and he runs, gets in his car and escapes. They never got a hold of him. And the only evidence they had was the bite on her neck and the fact that she was running down the street. So they
know what kind of car he has, though, right?
They didn't see his car because he ran on foot down to this area where he had parked with her.
No, I mean the woman who took a ride with him twice that day didn't know what kind of car it was.
That's a good point.
What color it is?
Well,
come on.
Guess what? They never found him.
Okay.
So for 3 years, he was freaked out by that. One got away. So he didn't do anything. He just kind of lay low in Chicago. But in 1995, he went back for another visit to California, and he figured, everything was going pretty well. So he saw this sex worker named Denise Manny, and he picked her up and he shot her in the face and then left her body out towards the desert.
Didn't want to pay for it?
Yeah, he just shot her in the face.
Okay.
So let's see. Let's talk about that was what he did in California. Let's talk about what he was doing while he was home in Chicago after all this, okay?
Killing whores? What was he doing?
Well, more than whores. Just the one whore. As a security guard in the Chicago Mall, he enjoyed a lot of time hanging around customers and people, and he had a lot of time to people watch. And he saw this one woman that he thought was pretty good. Her name was Laura Uyaki, and she lived in Indiana.
And then he went on to write the movie Paul Blart Mall Cop.
After he invented Uber.
That's the origin story of that movie.
You know what? I'm going to leave in.
It's amazing.
I'm going to leave in that he invented
I know that
Paul Blart. Because that's vote for Vinnie, please.
All right. He had nothing to do with that movie, guys.
No, he didn't. He wrote it.
Nothing at all.
He wrote every word of it. Tried to star in it, but he was dead by then. Okay. So he follows this one woman all the way back to her house in Indiana, abducts her, takes her back to a place called Wolf Lake in Illinois, on the border of Chicago and Illinois. And Cook County, Illinois, and Hammond, Indiana is where this Wolf Lake area is. It comes into play, and just leaves her body naked out there. They found her eventually. In July of 96, they found the body of 21-year-old Cassandra Coram, also by Wolf Lake, shot dead. And on August 2nd, 1996, the body of 22-year-old Lynn Huber was found in Wolf Lake, floating around.
Okay.
She was presumed to be his last victim. Now, all 3 of these women were shot and stabbed, all in the same area of Wolf Lake. How do they catch this guy, Karl? He's fucking just killing it well. And these are not, this is the other thing. We talk about serial killers all the time who just murder prostitutes.
Yeah.
This guy's grabbing nurses, college students.
All right.
He's a real fucking problem.
Yeah,
This is the guy you got to get rid of here. Now,
well, I want to protect our whores too, though, Vinny. I mean, come on.
There's dime a dozen.
Those are important people in this society.
We meet our hero in the story, Karl, right now. His name's Warren Fryer. He's a Indiana patrolman. He noticed Andy's car parked outside a known drug house, as well with a well-known prostitute.
Okay.
So he calls for backup, approaches the pickup truck. He describes Andy as a cooperative, average, nothing unusual. After Andy starts to explain that he served in the Marines, Fryer spotted that he had a gun. It was a snub-nosed, chrome-plated .38 Special, fully loaded with 6 shells in it. Police explained, took the gun from him because this guy did not have any types of permits to be able to have this gun. So he was subsequently arrested, and the gun was confiscated. He paid a fine and was released, but they kept his gun. Before police towed his car, Officer Fryer noticed there was a sleeping bag, a gym bag containing duct tape, and other bizarre things in the back bed of this truck. He also noticed that the inside of this truck was immaculately clean and the outside was really, really dirty. It was very strange, he thought. 6 months later, Officer Fryer again runs into Andy. This time at an American Inn with another prostitute. This hooker is one that they all love. Her name's Patricia Kelly. They all know her. Like, oh, hey, Patty. She's like, how are you, Officer Fryer? So there was a known dispute. He was accusing her of trying to steal from him.
Okay.
But here's the thing. She starts talking to Officer Fryer, and she said, this guy's kind of kinky. He wants to take me in the back of his pickup truck up to up to Wolf Lake.
Yep.
And he said he wants to handcuff me, and he wants to take the tradesman entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he goes, wait a second. He wants to take you where? To Wolf Lake? And he's like, Patty, don't do this. Like, women are getting murdered. They're finding bodies up there. Don't go with him. So she doesn't. And when he gets off of his shift, he goes back to the police department. He conducts a computer search for city records for this guy, including the seizure of the gun, sends another message to detectives that this guy who I found with an illegal gun is trying to take a hooker and handcuff her up to Wolf Lake.
So what he's guilty of is being too honest with this hooker. Should not have told her his plans.
Correct. But I mean, you got to negotiate.
Sure.
So by April 7th, they've run ballistics on this gun.
Mm-hmm.
Matches the 3 bodies they found at Wolf Lake. Shocker. So they do the Trixie thing. They bring him in, sit him down, and they say, we're going to do some... right now, we're running tests in the other room on that gun. Anything you want to tell us there, pal? Sang like a fucking canary.
Couldn't wait. Huh?
By the way, I killed like 5 more in California, too.
Yep.
This is what he told him everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the cops are like, oh, shit. So obviously he goes to trial. He is sentenced for 2 of the murders to the death penalty.
Okay.
They didn't charge him with the third one. They charged him with the first 2. And I'm not sure why, but it worked out in a very weird way. He gets 2 death sentences of death.
Okay.
Around the same time that Illinois is starting to discuss, we don't want to have the death penalty anymore.
Sure.
So they have a very liberal governor who decides to commute the death penalty sentences for anyone on death row currently on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the DA was like, oh, fuck this guy. We could still try him for the 3rd fucking murder. So this time they put him on trial again, Karl. He has a new lawyer, and the lawyer tells him to plead guilty, but say that he's insane. Mm-hmm. So they did a whole courtroom stunt, dude. I wish I could have found footage of it. It sounds hysterical. The lawyer comes in, he goes, listen, you can't have his hands cuffed during this. He needs to be able to take notes. He needs to be able to do things. So that he's pleading insanity. So the second they take the cuffs off of him, he sits down, everything's going well. He just starts going, ah! He just starts flicking everything off the tables, throwing glasses of water on people, like just trying to act crazy.
Right.
Didn't fall for it. He had pled guilty. So guess what, Karl? Sentenced him to the death penalty again. Just in time for Illinois to decide that they don't want the death penalty anymore, and they eliminate it in the state.
Okay.
So now he's just sitting there with life in prison. I'm going to give California a lot of credit. They stepped up for fucking once and said, oh, no. Please extradite him to us. We have the death penalty. They tried him for all 5 death sentences. He was sentenced in 2007.
I think 1's enough, probably.
Well, by 2017, I'm sorry, they were able to sentence him in October.
Okay.
By November 7th, he hung himself in jail.
Oh.
Now,
the old Epstein.
The old Epstein. I want to show you a picture of this guy, too, if I can. Do you mind?
Of course.
I want to just point out how much he looks like Vince the lawyer.
Uh-oh. Oh, that is a creep. That is pretty creepy. He's got more hair, though, than Vince the lawyer.
I looked at it, I was like, oh, my God, that's Vince. Not that I think Vince is a sociopath who would murder anybody.
No,
obviously.
we don't say things like that about Vince on this show. We just go, oh, Vince is a great guy.
Agreed. I love him.
Yeah.
Big fan.
All right.
Clip it. Big fan. All right. That's my creep. Andrew, corporal urinalysis.
All right. While you got that screen up, you can show my guy, whose name is Michael Joseph Pepe.
All right. Let me pull up this picture.
Yeah. If you don't mind.
Oh,
there he is right there in the middle in between those two Cambodian
MJP.
Men. So Pepe's a former U.S. Marine captain and retired and moved to Cambodia in 2003, began teaching management classes at a university there. By May of 2004, he hired this prostitute. And this prostitute and him got it on, formed a little bit of a relationship because there's a lot of poor people in Cambodia, and he had some money. he's some scratch. You can get some things done.
You don't even have to have a lot of money in Cambodia.
No, just he has a job at a university. Like he's the wealthiest man on the block.
Like you could have as much money as like John right now and go to Cambodia and live like Bill Gates.
Oh yeah. Just having a photo of you on a boat is enough to be like, wow, you must be a millionaire.
You're our king.
You were on a boat once? He's like, yeah, just recently too. Like, holy shit. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
So this guy gets this prostitute. He's like, having sex with you is okay, but what I really like are preteens. Do you know of any preteens around here? And the prostitute's like,
it's Cambodia.
Yeah, it's Cambodia.
Throw a rock.
There's preteens everywhere. They're all poor. They all need money. I'm sure I can talk to their parents and we can negotiate something. So she started helping him find preteens and working with the parents to bring preteens to his house.
For what? Like to play games?
Well, the first young Cambodian girl went to her house and Pepe raped her. And over the span of 13 days, took 70 photos of her. So was producing some CP, as they say.
Was he producing for like her Instagram?
No, this is 2004. It's before Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did have a digital camera.
Damn it.
So he was saving things on his computer, which is really smart. But the reason why he moved to Cambodia is because like there's no laws here. No one gives a shit. It's so corrupted. I can pretty much get away with whatever I want to.
You rape all the kids.
Right. So then he got another girl to come over. She actually stayed for several months. And Pepe raped her so violently that she was hospitalized for a week.
Why did she stay? Was she like being held?
These children are being held in this house.
Okay. I'm just
they have no choice.
Just confirming.
The next girl.
It's nice of him to take her to the hospital though.
The next girl lived with Pepe for 8 months and authorities found 500 photos of the girl. She later testified in his trial against him. He actually had 8 of these victims testify against him that he raped her on a daily basis over 8 months. There were 3 other girls whose photos they found. Oh, wait, no, there was another girl that he brought over. And then he's like, hey, you got a sister? Because she was pretty hot. And she's like, yeah, I got a sister. So they go to the mom. They're like, hey, we get the sister over here too? So then the sister comes over. So he's raping both of these girls.
Oh, God.
With these 2 girls who are sisters. They're getting raped.
It's a family affair.
So there's 3 other girls whose photos were found in this computer. Thousands of photos were found. And what happened was one of the girls, when he finally said, okay, I'm done with you. You can go home now. She told her grandma. And her grandma goes, oh, we should probably get the authorities involved. It doesn't sound right. You're at this guy's house for months and he was having sex with you. She's like, yeah.
Way to go, abuela.
Yeah. So they decided like that was probably a bad thing. So the Cambodian police, along with the United States agent observer, arrested Pepe in June of 2006. When searching Pepe's home, the police found condoms, drugs, KY jelly, baby oil, rope, and strips of cloth that were tied together. So this guy's having some kinky sex with these preteens, and it is like a freak off. It's like a Diddy party.
I was going to say, it's not as much oil, but...
Oh, no one has as much oil as Diddy. The drugs included Viagra and drugs that were used to sedate children. It's pretty convenient.
Like what, Dimetap?
The police also found a bedroom close to Pepe's bedroom that had stuffed animals, children's bedding, and children's clothes. Because remember, these kids were staying there long term, so they got hooked up with a bedroom. In the space between the children's room and Pepe's room, there was a massage table and photos of Pepe's victims. The police found digital storage devices that contained more than 1,000 photos. Among other items, the police also found cuttings of newspaper articles discussing pedophiles in Cambodia. So this guy was into it, man. He's just like, this is where the pedophiles go.
Was he looking for tips?
This is where I want to be. Maybe he's looking to see, like, how do they get caught? I don't want to get caught. And he wasn't for a couple of years. He was pulling this off. So as I mentioned, the police search his home. They find all this stuff. They find the photos of 8 victims. There were probably a lot more, but they found 8 victims. And all 8 victims testified against him at the trial. So the government presented at the trial evidence for the jury that the only reason why he was in Cambodia was not to teach management class. It was really to bang underage children because he thought he could get away with it. And he did for a long time.
How long was he there for?
He was there for a couple of years.
Okay. And there's 8 kids.
At least, yes. 8 kids that he was raping over 2 years.
Michael
time.
Joseph Pepe is a real piece of shit.
And he was traveling back to the United States and back and forth and back to Cambodia and stuff. So they had a trial for him, and he was given 210 years in federal prison. And he said, "That's excessive, guys. I mean, what are you talking about? Just gonna have a bunch of girlfriends over in Cambodia?" He demanded they retry this. So they did. And during a 7-day trial in August of 2021, jurors heard testimony from 8 victims as young as 9 years old when they were sexually abused. Each of them testified that Pepe sexually abused them, and several explained that Pepe drugged, bound, beat, and raped them. So he's torturing these children. And so the Judge Fisher in this case, in February of 2022, held on to the 210 years of federal prison, rejecting the defense's argument that the sentence was too long and unduly harsh. He says, Pepe confined numerous preteen girls in his home. The horrors he inflicted on those girls was more than unduly harsh. It was torture. And therefore, he's keeping the 210 years in federal prison, which is where this ex-Marine still presides to this day.
Well, that's a good thing. Can I say this, though? I don't like this defense of they were just my girlfriends.
You don't like that?
Like the 9-year-olds there testifying against you. Like, how do you explain that?
Sometimes these girls, they decide they didn't like the relationship years later.
Here's the situation. She wanted to settle down. I wanted to be I wanted to be out there, and spread my wings, and I couldn't settle down. So I broke up with her, and she's just trying to stick it to me now.
I think he said in court, you can't eat pizza every night, I believe is what he said.
She's just mad because after she moved out, I threw out a teddy bear. She wanted it back. I didn't give it to her.
Because my next 3 girlfriends were hotter and younger. She's just jealous about that. All right, so go to thecreepoff.com, vote for Karl. Let's keep this round going.
That's right. You go to thecreepoff.com. The votes are up right now. You could go vote for Vinnie and Andrew Urdiales or Karl and Michael Joseph Pepe.
You know what, Vinnie?
What?
I'm excited that we're celebrating Veterans Day for the 4th year in a row.
Yep.
But I'm even more excited that it is Super Chat Monday and people are participating and celebrating with us. Shout out to Dang Lizard with €5. You want to read this one?
Oh, I absolutely do, actually. Dang Lizard, thank you for the €5. Karl, did you celebrate the Veterans Day in your family by wearing your Pop-Up's favorite Hugo Boss uniform?
No, I sold that to a museum.
But I know you kept the spiky helmet. I've seen it.
I sold that to a museum. It's not how we celebrate.
Joseph Collins, thanks for the $4.99. Creep off is always the best. Let's creep on.
Creep on, my friend. Thank you.
Joseph Collins, again, thanks for the $49. My dad was a Marine and was trained at Paris Island. The things said to him, he told me he couldn't repeat to me. I believe that.
It's not an easy gig.
The Marines, their basic training is twice as long as everybody else's. It's way more intense. Those people who complete it and do it, they really are fucking something else.
Yes.
So we're fans of the Marines here. We're just not friends of Michael Joseph Pepe or Andrew Urdiales.
Correct.
Brewsox20 became a YouTube member of Who Are These Podcasts
Thank you very much. Becoming a member means you get to watch WATP live every Wednesday and Saturday, and also 2 bonus shows a month. I'm doing one with Dick Masterson this week. And just go to the community tab and you'll see all the links to those videos.
Dr. Hamad, thanks for the $100 super sticker.
100 something.
100 SARS.
Yeah.
He gave us SARS.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Now,
thank you for participating and celebrating Super Chat Monday with us.
I have a surprise for all of the WATP bonus content subscribers. I listen, every week at the Creep Off, we do a bonus episode every week.
That's
you get
right.
something fun from us. Every now and again, we miss something, but the majority of the time we're there every Friday with some fun episode. We did a great Scum Parade, Scum stream last week. We had a lot of great stories, fucked up stuff. But this week, we're doing one of our favorite things ever. You know what it is, right, Karl?
It is. It's a Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
And we're putting in somebody who I personally have been chomping at the bit to get into the Hall of Fame.
You've been really pushing this one. Now, if you don't know, we have a Hall of Fame here at the Creep Off. It's the creepiest of the creeps. Vinny, who are some of the people who are in our Hall of Fame? We got Chris D'Elia is in there.
Let's start with Pamper Chew.
Yep.
Chris Chan.
Right. Vince McMahon is in there.
Hulk Hogan's in there, of course.
Maddox is in there.
Maddox is in there. We might even end up doing another Maddox episode one of these days.
We might have
the
to.
shit
We've done
keeps going. The shit keeps going with him. We can always revisit it. But today, folks, a guy who really deserves it. I'm really excited to put him in here because the types of atrocity that this motherfucker got away with.
Maybe worse than Maddox. Maybe. Possibly.
Let's not go crazy.
I know. We still have to do the research.
Maddox went in first. There's a
we
reason.
Still have to do the research on it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Uday Hussein is going into the
Look
Creep
at that
Off
big
Hall of Fame.
smile on his face. What a fun life he lived, huh?
He was the oldest son of Saddam. He was also the guy who was in charge of the Olympic teams. There's some fun stories behind that. And I am very excited to present this. So hope you will join us on Friday. Now, I set a surprise for you who are these podcast bonus content subscribers, because for once and one time only, we're going to let the WATP bonus content subscribers see the amazing type of content we do over here at the Creep Off, in hopes that you will join the Creep Off Patreon or become a member of the Creep Off YouTube channel.
That's right. If you are on our Patreon, Supercast, or if you're a subscriber on YouTube to hear these podcasts, you will be getting the link this Friday at noon. Tune in and watch us induct Uday Hussein into the Creep Off Hall of Fame.
Robert Glock has a nomination that I might consider.
Oh.
Pete Rose, so he can finally get in a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Pete Rose, the poor guy, not even in any Hall of Fames.
Is he in the WWE Hall of Fame? He might be.
He might be.
Because Kane did tombstone him that one time. That was when he was dressed as the California
Is
chicken.
he really a creep, though? Like, everyone bets on sports now.
He lived to see the day where MLB had their very own sports book, like their own official sports book.
It is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I was listening to Howard Stern on the way in today.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Me too. And you got to go listen to his football conversation today.
Oh,
you know how he says the dumbest shit?
He doesn't know anything about football.
Dude, he said the dumbest
Why are
thing.
the Jets very good, Robin? They're in New York. They should be good, Robin.
He said the dumbest thing I've ever heard him say loud and clear, and you'll probably want it for your board. He said, go Bills.
Really?
Yeah, he was rooting for the Bills, and I was like, you old, out-of-touch idiot.
Wind is subsided. 61-yard try for the lead. It is. He's got it. He's got it. He's got it.
Yeah. Go Bills, baby.
Dwyer Christian is right. Stern is the dumbest retard. That is absolutely
The
correct.
Giants are bad. Did you watch that game from Germany yesterday?
You know, I had to work all day yesterday. I was here.
You didn't miss anything, man.
Dude,
The
we
Giants
had
are
an
terrible.
event yesterday.
Lost to the Panthers.
Let me tell you something. If I was ever going to go postal and just start screaming at people, if you ever thought I had an anger problem,
I do. Yeah.
yeah,
Sure do, man.
I would have kicked these.
Where were
broads
you
in-
working yesterday?
Here, I was at the club. We had an event.
Oh, right.
We had an event. It was a fashion show.
Come on.
It was a fashion show to raise money for cats, homeless cats.
What was your job? To hide in your office and not be seen by anyone?
a good chunk of the day? No, man, I just was filled and doing whatever needed to be done. But we had tech stuff. We had to set up like this giant runway. And these people.
You're doing that during a Buffalo Bills game?
Yeah.
They
I was here all
scheduled it
day.
for a Sunday during the NFL season?
Yeah. They
Any
have
straight
all
people
these
there?
people.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I think just me and a
Okay.
couple of the servers. It was so fucking weird because like they have all of these kids, like young kids up to like senior citizens that are all part of this modeling agency, which I think is one of like those mall modeling agencies
Yeah, I
where
don't
like
like
you
this-
pay to be a part of it.
I don't like the sound of that.
And like it was the JC Penney fashion show. Ooh la la. And they had these cats in what looked like what you would take a fish home from the pet store. So they have like kittens and they're like in a plastic bubble.
Oh, no.
And they're coming out with their JC Penney's clothes, holding the cat.
This
And the
one's not
cat's like
breathing.
getting knocked around.
Oh, Jesus. You got to punch a hole in that bag, kids. What are you doing?
I couldn't believe what I was watching the whole time. And like, we're going to raise money for the cats. And,
Wow.
and let me tell you what the host did. This is the part where I almost just turned off the mics and turned all the lights off and said, everybody leave. The host, this is what we gets up. Former news anchor in town. Former news anchor, I believe. She comes up, she's like, ha ha ha, ha, this is so great, the cats. And the place stinks like kitty litter. Ah! And she's going nuts. All these people are going crazy. We want to see the kittens. And she goes, now let me tell you before we start. I told my husband that I was doing this. And so he went and found me cat jokes. And she has a computer printout.
You
Not
got to remember at least one of these cat jokes.
I remember. Oh, it's worse, Karl. It's worse. Do you remember when Howard a few weeks ago was trying to use Chat GPT to write his show?
Yes, I do.
Her husband used Chat GPT
Oh boy.
to write the cat jokes. One of them was about dogs. I know that. It was completely wrong. And then the other one was like, we hope everyone will open up their purse tonight.
People laughed at that
uproariously.
Okay, this club needs to be shut down.
No,
it's over.
We had Phil Hanley all weekend. It was awesome.
It's oh, I heard you did very well this weekend.
Who'd you hear that from?
Nobody. Trying to give you a segue.
I did
talk
6
about your great
shows
comedy
this
shows.
weekend.
Dude, this place needs to be shut down. That was said on the stage in this comedy club.
Karl.
It's over. I'm going to be Chad Zumach. It's over, man. Comedy Carlson, it's over. You're done.
It was said on the fashion thing at the bar, so it wasn't said on the stage.
Jesus.
Thank Christ. But I will say this. She then goes, and if anybody didn't like those, you can play my husband in ChatGPT. I was like, give me his fucking number, lady. Give me his fucking number right now.
Yeah, if anyone wants to complain to my husband, I do. Yes, please.
Oh, Karl. You and I, do you remember when you and I watched the contest and we were just like both wanted to kill everyone there?
Yes.
It was 1,000 times that, except with fucking cats.
It sounds like it, man.
And
I'm
cat
sorry to hear that.
ladies. Oh, it was the worst.
Now I feel good that I got to watch that horrible Giants game. Seems like a way better use of my time.
I have Chuba Hubbard on my fantasy team. I heard he had a good game. Before we do Karl's Cop Game, let's hit up just a couple more super chats because they're coming in, Karl.
There are.
Ebony, thanks for the 5 pounds. Isn't there a story that Uday fed Masters of the Universe action figures up his love rival's Asus until his intestines broke? A-man, E-faces broke it. I get it. A-man, E-faces. I get it. That's a Masters of the Universe figure joke.
That's amazing. That's a deep pull right there.
Man, E-faces. I remember that.
I remember that too.
The Atari Network, thanks for the $2. I love it when Vinnie and Karl chew the shit. Sko!
The Atari Network. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, this is the most we talk.
And I do want to point out, let's move things along because I do have a point dabble point today at 4 o'clock
fucking cares?
on the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube channel, a special
Oh,
Veterans Day point dabble points.
Did John do something today?
He did. He was on a boat yesterday. I have a video of it. So.
Whose boat?
Wait, that's the mystery. Is it his boat? Is it
no, it's not his boat. It's his buddy's boat.
He was mom's boat. We don't know.
Okay, I will tell you.
Much to discuss. Anna Bush.
The only thing I want to see on that I want to talk about is how pitiful he was on that thing with Vince. Come on, Vince.
Vince.
Incredible? Extend my credit.
Was that incredible? Or was it, you got all this money? You don't need money. Why are you shaking me down? You don't got to do that. You can just give me my money back. That was crazy.
Fucking out of control.
Yeah, it was fun. I like watching John finally admit that he is a poor. It was nice to see.
As they come. All right, Karl. So what are we doing now, Karl's Cop Game?
Yeah, you want to hit the stinger?
Sure do.
I can't wait to see Karl's Cop Cam. Fight with the cops for no reason. Will you please show me Karl's Cop Cam? Lose all your rights. Ruin your life.
Now, Vinny, we've had a lot of submissions, and I know you forwarded me a couple.
I got a bunch the last couple days.
Yeah, which is great. We appreciate that. You guys see a great Cop Cam video, forward it along to the Creep Off. Thank you for doing that. You can always email me too, watpshow@gmail.com. And this one, though, actually came in from Psychotic in the Who Are These Socials Discord channel. And I saw this and I went, oh, this will be good for the Creep Off. So thank you, Psychotic, for sending this in.
Thank you.
Vinny, you like going to the movies?
I'm a big fan of going to the movies. I go to the movies a couple times a month.
And you like to go by yourself?
I go with my wife usually. Sometimes I go by.
Yeah, sometimes
there's something she doesn't want to see.
Sometimes you go by yourself and you just get to go and watch a movie, and that's your time. And the woman that I'm introducing you to today is like that as well. She likes to go to the movies. She goes to the AMC at the mall, and she just wants to go see a movie by herself. Now, the problem is, she really wanted some concessions, some of those treats they have there.
Mm-hmm.
So she cut the line, and then people were complaining about that.
She's damn right. She's lucky she didn't get power bombed by me,
dude.
Try cutting the line.
She cut the line. So and she was kind of being an asshole. She was like playing with the POS system and messing with it in front of the cashier and stuff. So they said to the manager, like, can we get her out of here? So the manager goes and finds a couple cops in the mall and says, hey, you got to kick her out. We don't want her here. She's bothering the other customers. So that's where we begin our videos presentation today, is the police confronting this woman.
Well, Karl's first behavior. Clip is called Movie Time.
It is movie time.
Let's see.
Excuse me, ma'am. Hi, how are you? I'm Officer Grady with Promise Police Department. You got to come outside with me, okay? Yeah, they want you to leave the property. You okay? You all right? Your eyes are a little loopy.
How are your eyes?
My eyes are fine. Is this how you normally are? Even
Yes.
having anything to drink tonight?
I'm looking in your eyes directly.
Okay. And I'm asking, do you have anything to drink tonight?
No.
Okay. All right, so we have to leave the property right now, okay?
I'm not going to do that.
Okay, so this is how it's going to go, right? I asked you twice now to leave, right?
Right.
You are being banned from the Garden State Plaza. If you don't leave, we're going to arrest you. Okay? So I'm going to give you one more shot. I'll give you 10 seconds to walk out with us, or you're going to get arrested.
These people are getting 2 shows. These people in line here. Like, oh, sweet, I came to see a movie, but I'll also watch a live cop cam video. This is fun. Lucky them.
You know, I don't like that he asked her for why her eyes are bloopy.
Yeah, or loopy, maybe he said.
No, he said bloopy, according to it sounded like bloopy.
Yeah.
And then I also like the way she responded. He goes, "Have you been drinking tonight, ma'am?" And she was like, Amy Winehouse? No. That was pretty good.
You got to go to rehab. And I said, no.
Oh, shit.
All right. Yeah. So apparently she seems like she's a little bit out of it. You know, and these police are just like, well, you got to go. And she's like, I don't think so. So apparently her husband is a cop. And she goes, let me call my husband. I'll get this figured out. We'll get this all figured out in my next clip.
Oh, you want to turn and look?
Let me call my husband.
No. Turn and
He's a
look.
police officer.
Okay, call him. I would
Let
love
me
to
call
talk.
him.
I would love to talk to him right now. I would love to talk to him. See here?
Don't worry about that. Please back up. Okay.
I'm not backing up. Ma'am, look at him. He's going to pay you, okay? And can one of you guys come over here? Yeah. All right, you don't even know his phone number.
No, how about you get away from me?
Okay, right?
Put the tunic down.
I pray to God I don't want to argue with you.
Just say it out loud to her.
I don't want to argue with you.
All right, so just
how about you guys back away from me? I call who I have to call.
Just tell her.
You do your business.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wow, she's kind of shaped like Patrick Melton, isn't she?
She is.
Happy birthday, big guy. It's Patrick's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Patty Melt.
So
can I say that I was absolutely appalled because she's wearing what I would call a tunic.
Mm-hmm.
And when she lifted her arm, I saw what looked like a giant package of hot dogs down the side of her.
Yep.
And her bra strap and her underwear.
You don't bring hot dogs into the movie theater with you?
Yes.
That are attached to your body?
No, they're in buns.
All right.
I do not like any of this. And now she's going to have to produce her cop husband, which I don't believe is a thing.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. His name's Officer Glass.
Right. But she does pull rank on these police officers. She has a very important job, and she can't wait to explain that to these officers.
9/11 first responder. No? Okay.
In the name of Jesus, please get away from me.
Can you
get away from me because you said he doesn't know who to call.
No,
back away.
You said you're calling your husband.
You don't know who to call. Oh God, Lord, give me this.
Put your hands in my face. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Just stop.
Behind your back. Come on.
I'm a nurse. I can't breathe.
So I can't breathe. I'm a nurse.
Went to that quick.
I can't breathe.
Now,
a nurse would know that if you can yell, I can't breathe, that you can breathe.
I am more upset with the in the name of Jesus, get away from me, whatever she said there.
Yeah, I don't think
Why
Jesus
people,
has her back.
Yeah, I hate when Christians do that stuff. Like
Yeah.
they're just ordering Jesus around. Like,
Yeah,
didn't he
Jesus
go
is
through
busy.
enough?
Jesus is busy right now.
Yeah, Jesus should be blissing it up on a cloud. They fucked him up for no good reason. He shouldn't have to listen to your bullshit.
I agree.
Could you imagine you go through everything Jesus did? Let's say this whole thing is true. He dies, comes back, goes up to heaven just to spend the rest of eternity listening to fucking lunatics like this scream and bark orders at him.
Get my name out your mouth, bitch. Jesus is like, that's enough.
I want to make that t-shirt. Keep my name out your mouth.
Yeah, it's just Jesus. Pointing at it. That's fun. I like that.
I really do want to make that.
It's good.
Troy Smith, let's talk.
Troy, yes. I'm wearing my Troy Smith shirt right now.
Yeah, give him a plug.
All right. So she's explaining to the cops now that they got to call someone. That she doesn't realize that, no, these are the cops and they're the ones who are going to remove her from here, but she thinks that they have to bring someone else in to remove her for some reason.
Oh,
She's
like a
very confused.
forklift operator?
She's very confused about this whole thing, and things go badly here.
Call who you got to call.
You put your hands on me?
Yeah?
You don't
That's
know
what's
who
gonna
the I know.
Okay, that's
You don't know who the
call your husband.
So I will call whoever the I
Thank
gotta
you.
call. Don't put your
Ah!
Don't put your hands on me. For all the charges you gotta call. Do not put your hands on me.
Man, stop.
Do not put your
Stop.
Don't put
Whoa!
your hands on me. I don't give a what charge you put. Don't put your hands on me.
What do you want to stop?
Do not put your call EMS. Whoever you gotta call. Don't
Stop
put
kicking.
your hands on
Stop
me.
kicking and stop spinning.
The only person who needs to call anybody is you, honey, and it's a bail bondsman.
Right.
You listen. She is revolting to look at rolling around on the floor.
Mhm.
I am so thankful for the blur on this. Whatever the fuck was going on there, I don't think I could have handled.
Yeah. So thankfully they blurred this because I'm pretty sure her vagina and asshole are all popping out of the bottom of whatever that moo is that she's wearing.
Seven screaming Dizbuster says Jesus saves with Gosset blurs. Yes, he does.
So did you see that loogie she hocked into that cop's face? Like she had
Forceful.
a big wet one and it went flying.
That was she had some spirit behind that. Maybe Jesus is helping her.
Great aim too, like smashed him right in the face.
His head moved. He was like,
With
"Ah!"
that loogie. Yeah, that was something else. So she's kicking, she's down on the ground. They got her down. She's kicking, she's spitting. This is not going well for her. I don't think it's going to end well for her. And then she's just being so silly.
Yo T Whirl says orange M&M costume. Not far off.
She'll be wearing orange where she's going too.
Now you said she's being silly? Now?
Yeah, she's getting real silly.
I don't give a what color I am. I'm black, I'm brown, I'm purple. Get the off me.
As soon as
Get
you
the
calm
off
Man,
me.
calm down and we'll get
No,
you
let me
up.
go. Let me
Do you see how you're acting?
Do you see how you acting?
I'm missing the previews.
Stop.
Your mother or something?
Stop.
Get the off me. Okay?
Do you see how you're acting, ma'am? Do you see why we're holding you down? You're being hysterical.
You know,
it's a bit much.
You know, the winner here is the seat in the theater she is not occupying.
Oh, this person doesn't even know how much better of an experience they had than what they would have had.
I'm sure that you could be watching the shittiest movie. It
Yeah.
could have been made worse had she got past the concession stand.
For sure. All right, so now they're realizing that this woman reeks of alcohol, and that might be what the problem is here.
I'm well educated. I have 4 degrees. You will never make me feel no type of way.
Pause it real quick.
Me, man. Get the
I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Yeah, this is the Stuttering John defense, I call it, where she explains that she has 4 degrees and that she's well educated, and therefore spitting on cops and kicking is fine.
Okay.
It obviously any of her behavior doesn't matter. She's well educated.
Is that a perk you get when you graduate?
I guess. And I mean, she's like, police officers don't have 4 degrees. I'm obviously way smarter than you guys.
off me. You too.
Stop.
Get off me.
Stop kicking. Stop kicking.
You hurting my arm.
Because look how you're acting.
I know how to make my arm feel better.
Right now you got 280.
Get off my arm.
Stop.
Get off my arm.
You're not going to spit at us. You hear
I'm
me?
not gonna spit.
Yeah, you.
Okay, here's what I'm worried about here. She's rolling onto her stomach. I think she's going to also projectile something just from the other end.
Yep.
You did already.
I was never gonna do that.
You just did. You just spit at me.
You talking to?
You. I'm talking to you.
My friends are here. My friends at the ring. Get the off me.
Did she forget that she just spit at this guy?
Yes.
She already forgot about that?
Gardner fan says, Kool-Aid's man's lesser known orange sister.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
She is a big gal.
The orange drink bitch.
She is a big, big gal.
You people are out of control in the chat. Be nice.
All right. Yeah. Next clip, like she keeps trying to get up, and they're like, you got to stay down. It's time to stay down.
Yeah, listen to Gravity, honey.
Yep.
I guess she's reeks of it.
Yeah, I saw.
Who reeks of alcohol? Motherfucker, you see your belly? You reek of alcohol. Get the fuck out my
I wouldn't be
face.
talking.
Yeah, whatever. Your mother.
Here we go.
Get my face.
Stay on the floor.
You keep screaming. Move. Move, Kareem. Move.
Stay where you are.
Move. It don't matter. It don't matter nothing that you got going on. But let me tell y'all. Oh, Lord. Oh.
Man, why are you standing? What are you doing?
Don't touch me.
Why do you keep rolling?
Don't touch me. That meant me so much to me.
Don't kick me.
You don't know what the f that means.
Gonna be another.
You probably joined this mother police force just to do it for benefits. You know what the f mean for a mother gonna watch you?
She's not making a lot of sense.
Nope.
But I like her rolling around on the floor. She's kicking up in the air. She doesn't know what she's doing. She has no control over
Could
herself.
you imagine how bad it would be to walk into that theater and you know you get the smell of the popcorn,
Yeah,
but now it just smells like a waft of asshole.
Oh,
like the whole
God.
place is gonna reek. This woman's leg, she's just kicking up stink.
Oh, I can only imagine. But it's a fun show, though. If you're far away from it, you could just be watching this.
I'd go in like Batman. I'd put my jacket up over my nose.
All right.
Filming.
So it's time to drag this woman out because she is not being cooperative. I don't know if you noticed that yet.
Oh, so they're not going to let her go to the movie.
No, she's not
Oh,
going to see a movie
okay.
tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think they let her on a plane either. All right, let's see what happens next.
Are you going to spit anymore?
Well, I never spit.
You spit
But I
on
want
it.
you to get the f off my head.
Okay, then we're gonna-
What the f is the North PD?
Okay, stand up.
Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Stop. You're gonna get sprayed. You're gonna get sprayed. You're gonna get sprayed. Fight me. Are you kidding me?
Put it on.
Put that on her. Sprayer. If she
Sprayer.
That hurt. You all right? Okay. We're gonna drag you out right now.
Get off me!
They're literally dragging her out now.
She bit you?
What a fucking piece of shit.
So she spit at the cop, then she bit him in the arm. She kicked at him multiple times.
Oh, I gotta watch it. I'm sorry. They're just dragging her out. Oh
Now
my
they're
god,
just dragging her out.
Carl.
Wow. What a scene, huh?
Carl, that was the best because the cop is just like, you know what? Fucking just spray her. Look at that. He's like, put the hood on her. No, spray her first, then put the hood on her.
Right.
Wow.
Let's keep the tear gas right in her eyeballs. You can't get it out.
What a piece of shit.
So they drag her out. They drag her outside. They're going to throw her in a cop car. And the cop's like, dude, I don't want her in my car. So they get an ambulance over and they throw her in the back of the ambulance. And she keeps saying she didn't do anything. But now I saw some stuff. It looked like she did do something.
If I were them, I wouldn't even call an ambulance. I call a garbage truck.
But yeah, let's see what happens here.
Don't lie on me. Don't lie. I didn't do nothing to you, sir.
At least a couple aggravated assault and field charges for spitting, biting, resisting.
She kicked us probably at least 5 times.
Who else did she kick? You and who else?
Me and Casey.
All right, so yeah, like
But defining trespassing, she wouldn't leave.
resisting,
Disorderly, aggravated assault.
3 counts aggravated assault, 2 for kicks.
Yeah, she spit on
a
me.
bite, yeah, like 4. Yeah.
When this ambulance drives away, it's just going to be lopsided sparks are going to be flying from the bumper, scraping out of the ground.
Worst gas mileage we ever got on the way to the hospital.
If they make it.
So Vinnie, she was charged with disorderly intoxication, assault on a police officer, and resisting arrest. This was back in July. So I don't know how that's netted out. I looked it up. I tried to find more information, but that's all I have for you. Just a crazy drunk lady at the movies.
One of my favorite places to be drunk, actually. I behave though.
Yes. Yeah, I'm actually, I want my treats.
Yeah.
So I will wait in line for them to pour extra butter on my popcorn.
I'll do it myself. The biggest mistake they ever made at the movies, at the AMCs now, you can put your own butter on.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And that seems like a bad choice. Because there is like a layer of grease. No, there's a layer of grease all over the floor in front of that thing, all over the counter in front of that thing. They can mop it for years. They will never get rid of the impenetrable layer of grease and oil from that shit that they
There's
just put in
fat guys slipping like they're Hanna-Barbera cartoons, just nonstop. Now that I would just sit there and eat popcorn and watch that.
I would too.
That sounds fun.
I'd get a job there. But also the reason they have to do it is because the employees have the same fat fucks making them stand there for 10 minutes holding the thing just dripping butter onto their popcorn. I don't know which is going to be better for everything, but I do know it's time for voicemails.
The Creep Off voicemail segment is brought to you by the City of Syracuse. Don't blame us for Trump getting elected. We voted for the Costco guys. See you in Syracuse.
Boom.
I wrote in my vote, too. I voted for Vince McMahon.
Oh,
for president.
Dude. Before you play the voicemail, this kind of fits into that category. I got an email today from John Robinson, who says, "Goodbye" is the title of this email. And he wrote, "I love your show, but as I told all my friends and family that if you voted for Trump, go fuck yourself. And if you are a Democrat who didn't get your ass out to vote, fuck you even more." That's what Jonathan wrote to me. He seems pretty distraught by this election.
Well, don't blame me. I voted for Vince McMahon.
You know who else is upset about it? Is our fine Governor Kathy Hochul. Did you get an email from her?
No.
I did.
I have her blocked.
Kathy says, "Karl, I know that many New Yorkers are wondering what Tuesday's election means for this state, their families, and our future. For those that may have concerns, I want to remind you that New York has faced challenges before, and we've always emerged stronger than before. We fought our way back from a global pandemic, created tens of thousands of jobs, brought back manufacturing from overseas, and driven down crime."
When did we do all that?
None of this has happened. I don't know what she's talking about.
Did I miss something?
But I love the fact that she's equating Trump getting elected to a global pandemic. And she says, "Earlier this week, I shared a message directly to President-elect Trump." Listen to what she wrote to Donald Trump.
Like I said to everyone who voted for you, fuck you. Goodbye.
Same thing Jonathan Robinson wrote. Listen to this, Vinnie. This is crazy to me. She wrote, "I represent every New Yorker, regardless of who they voted for on Tuesday, and we will work with you on any effort that will help New York State. But if you try to harm New Yorkers or take away their rights, we will fight you every step of the way."
Cool, Kathy. Good stuff. How much is your husband making off this piece of shit Bill Stadium? Go fuck yourself. Go shit in a hat, Kathy Hochul.
This is crazy right here. Listen to this. "I believe there are many opportunities for us to collaborate with the Trump administration, restoring the state and local tax deductions, supporting our transit projects, and protecting our critical economic development initiatives that were funded through the CHIPS and Science Act. But while we hope for the best, we also must prepare for the worst. That's why this week I announced the launch of the Empire State Freedom Initiative, a task force focused on key areas where New York and New Yorkers are most likely to face threats from a Trump administration, including reproductive rights, civil rights, immigration, gun safety, labor rights, LGBTQ plus rights, and the environment. Trump is trying to harm New Yorkers. Did you know that? No wonder New York didn't vote for Trump. Holy shit. I didn't know we ran on that. That's crazy."
Yeah, I saw those commercials.
Oh, you saw those?
Brian McBride, the voice of Syracuse, says, "I got a text saying I better donate or Rudy G will be homeless." That's my favorite story. Rudy Giuliani just hiding all of his shit from these people is really funny. Have you followed that at all, Karl?
I have not, no.
Okay, so there's a massive, like over $100 million ruling against Giuliani that he's appealing. But in the meantime, he has a bunch of sports memorabilia, Yankees World Series rings, like a Mickey Mantle autographed jersey, like some crazy cars, a penthouse in New York, all this shit that he's supposed to turn over. Now, originally, he ran from the summons for this for like months and months and months. And then he put on social media that he was going to have his 80th birthday party. And then they just came and served him his 80th birthday party. And he was like, "How'd they find me?" He was like John. Like, Rudy Giuliani is turning into John. And it's pretty fucking funny. But then they were supposed to hand over all this stuff. It was supposed to be this apartment. They showed up the apartment. The place was empty. The cars are all gone. Everything's gone.
Smart.
They couldn't move the apartment, so they had to leave that. But everything else is gone. He's like, "I don't know. I tried to give it to him." He's really great.
That's awesome. Good for
He's
him.
ducking all of it. It's great.
Good for him. The guy took on the mafia, for Christ's sake. Not going to get him that easily.
I know. It's so funny. He really fucking learned a couple tricks. All right, I got a voicemail.
Hey, guys. I just think as a male nurse and father of four, it's only appropriate that I put my 2 cents in this conversation. I mean, there's plenty of options for Danny to, like, give stuff out. I got pitched a placenta dream catcher on Instagram from some fucking weirdo. You can make breast milk ice cream.
Okay.
Or, you know, even I found it hard to watch and see like the other side of my wife's C-section, except I remember them cutting off her scar. like slicing it like they were trimming fat off the steak. It was fucking beautiful. See ya.
Yeah, it's a call from a male nurse. All right.
There's some real creeps in this audience, Vinny. Starting to think that's not just a tagline.
I think Danny's breast milk ice cream cone might end up on the wheel.
I think that might end up to someone who supports us the most on Patreon.
Yeah, it's a good point.
that's new merchandise.
We're gonna give away Danny's breast milk to anybody who becomes $100 a month patron.
That's right.
You'll
Yes.
get some of Danny's breast milk.
She kind of agreed to that last week, right?
Yeah, Danny.
We talked about it.
Listen, the kid 6 pounds 14 ounces,
yeah.
big enough. Put some aside for us. Jesus Christ, we're sick people. I don't have any other voicemails. Do you have any more?
I don't.
Okay, well, I just want to remind you guys, the voicemail number is, hold on, I'm going to pull it up because I want to make sure we put it out on the show, is 585, and of course, shit didn't want to load, 585-371-8108. Send us your voicemails anytime. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, if you got any stories about creeps in the wild that you discover, we always like those stories.
And you can find that number and all the links to our social media, or email, Patreon, Supercast, all that stuff at thecreepoff.com when you go there to vote.
Just want to remind Vinny that he's fat. You can do that as
I'm
well.
not that fat.
Always
I'm
excited.
way less fat than I used to be.
Always excited to hear about that.
All right, I guess it's time for a scum parade.
Scum Parade, take me on a raid of these fuck charades that these creeps have made. Scum Parade, Vinnie and Karl gonna tell you about some fuck shit. Scum Parade, like stories of a kid fucked by his mom or dad, soaking up the blood of a cat. Scum Parade.
We haven't checked in Zimbabwe in a while.
Shit.
But
No, we have not.
There's a trial that is finally wrapped up. It's been a long, ongoing trial of a 32-year-old man from Nineveh Village. You see, his name is Fumalani Masango.
Okay.
He pleaded not guilty to 6 counts of theft, criminal insult, fraud, and kidnapping. And he was convicted after the trial, though. He was accused and sentenced to 4 years imprisonment for kidnapping, and 2 years are suspended for 5 years on condition of good behavior. Now, basically what he did is in March, he approached 2 juvenile men who were on their way home from school and introduced himself as a police officer.
Okay. That's fun.
He went on to accuse them of being drunk.
Were they drunk?
No.
Oh.
He slapped them and proceeded to search their bags. Masango ordered the boys to follow him to the police base in Mbasi, but they did not enter the offices of the police.
Right, because the other police would know that he's not a cop. Probably.
Correct. So instead, he forced them into a Toyota that was supposedly headed to a different police precinct.
He forced them into a Toyota Wish.
Yes, whatever the fuck that is.
Have you ever heard of a Toyota Wish before? I had to look it up.
Those are like Super Bowl loser team T-shirts. They just ship those overseas immediately. We
I
never
guess
saw
so,
the
yeah.
Wish.
I
Thank
do
God.
not know what a Wish is.
Toyota wished they would go away.
Yes.
He demanded the juveniles' cell phones, claiming that it was against the law for students to have cell phones, and it was his duty as a police officer to enforce the laws. The juveniles were then locked in a room that was close to a bar at a shopping center. After some time, Masango returned and indicated that he was taking the victims to the school authority, as it was late, risky for the victims to go home. He said, "You have to stay here for the night." So he led them to his homestead. While they were there, he ordered them to wear condoms and masturbate.
Zimbabwe is wild.
Yeah.
This is the punishment you
The
get?
cop
for
is like,
breaking-
listen, it's too dangerous. You got to come to my house tonight.
This is the punishment for breaking the law. You have to jerk off into a condom? That's not terrible. It's not the worst punishment ever. Put it on the wheel.
The juvenile complied, and when they failed to ejaculate, he ordered them to urinate and repeat the act.
You're telling me these teenage boys failed to ejaculate?
With this guy watching them, probably.
I don't know, man. I was ejaculating all day, every day.
Well, they ejaculated, and he ordered them to remove condoms and place them on the floor, and he promised to buy them food. The victims were released in the morning.
Okay.
Get the fuck out. On March 29th, he met up with another victim he ordered to follow him to his homestead and forced him to masturbate and leave the condom on the floor as well. The three juveniles reported the matter to the police, and
What's he doing
investigations
with
were
all this?
carried on.
What is this, Cardiff Electric? The Zimbabwe's version of Cardiff? What's he doing with this?
What was the headline of this story? Human semen harvester, they called him. It's a weird collection. It's a weird fucking collection. So he was promised to... Yeah, long story short, Bisongo approached Thompson Majola and introduced himself as a lawyer after receiving a tip-off that he needed legal representation for his son who had been arrested. Bisongo promised to represent him, and Majola paid him $250. After a while, Majola discovered that Bisongo was not a lawyer, and he heard that he had been arrested for impersonating a police officer. That matter was also reported to the police. So he's pretending to be a cop. He's pretending to be a lawyer. And he just didn't get to the part with this guy he was pretending to be a lawyer to, where he was like, listen, I could file an appeal, but I'm going to need you to masturbate into this condom and leave it on the floor.
At least he got some money out of this other guy. I don't understand what these crimes were. He's just trying to get loaded up condos for some reason.
Zimbabwe is a weird place.
It is a weird place.
Let's head back to the States. Let's talk about a guy named Benjamin Garcia Gual.
All right.
Now, we're going to East Hempfield, PA. And he killed his girlfriend and injured her brother because he didn't like her new haircut.
You know what, Vinny? I'm going to go out on a limb. I bet it wasn't even about the haircut. I bet she was upset about something else.
I don't know. I remember Jenny wanted to murder you when you came home with those frosted tips.
She's the one who gave me the fucking frosted tips. I wanted to murder her.
Okay. November 3rd. It's 1:40 p.m. Officers responded to a home in Delaine regarding a stabbing. Medics transported 2 people, one of whom was the suspect. The third victim died at the scene. So apparently he got a little chopped up too. So he showed up, saw her haircut, didn't like it.
Yeah, like what were you thinking with that?
She ends up going to families.
A perm. In 2024, you went and got a perm. You look silly.
Yeah. Would you get a glaze?
You get a glaze? That looks ridiculous.
So she goes and stays at her brother's house. And he was not real happy about that. But she told a family member, a third party, that she just needs to get away from this guy. She's terrified of him.
Yeah.
And that could you call and break up with him for me?
Should have called John Breaks Bad News.
They should have called John Breaks Bad News.
Fun.
Instead, they actually did call. And he was like, oh, well, where is she? I want to talk to her. Like, I don't know. Well, he figured where she was, at the brother's house.
Okay.
So he shows up to the house, knocks on the door. Someone says, no, she's not here. Sorry. And he's like, okay. He leaves for a couple, then comes back. The brother answers the door this time. I told you she's not here. That's when he starts stabbing the brother, makes his way in and stabs the shit out of his girlfriend and kills her.
Could you imagine the hairstylist if you found out that like your client was murdered because their haircut was so bad? You'd be like, oh God, I knew I didn't do a great job.
I told her it didn't match her face. I told her. I mean, too short.
These people,
a pixie cut.
They look at Instagram. They think they can all look like celebrities, and they can't. It's just I'm not a miracle worker over here.
Fucking lost.
If Jen ever came out just like, yeah, not a great day today. One of my clients was killed because her haircut sucks so bad. Like, oh, that's gonna sting for a minute.
Yeah. Judging by everything I saw, I bet you this lady didn't even tip.
Oh gosh, it's even worse.
Karl, let's go over to Russia, shall we?
Yep.
I always like to think of like foreign children as better behaved than American kids.
Yeah, Americans are brats.
Yeah,
They're
Americans
brought up with TV and social media.
Exactly. And you hear about countries like Russia where they embrace all the traditional values. They're, making sure everybody's fighting for the fatherland.
Yeah, I assume like the family structure is a little more militant, the patriarchy there. They make sure the kids stand in line.
Well, I'll tell you what. I got one kid there. He's 15. He's not named, but I wouldn't fuck with this kid.
Okay.
And the mother probably should have thought of this ahead of time. A 15-year-old boy was unhappy that his mom confiscated his tablet so he would concentrate on doing his homework. The boy reacted by repeatedly striking her on the head before chopping her up with an axe.
Wow. Now, I will say, it seems like overkill for a mom who's just like, I'm going to take your tablet away so you can get some homework done. But he did get to play more Minecraft after that.
He certainly did. So here's what he did.
That actually did work out for him.
After he murders his mother with an axe, he allegedly nailed her bedroom door shut and calmly went to a local shop to buy chocolate. Then he returned home and went on to play Minecraft on his tablet device before reporting himself to the police.
I don't think he did a good job conveying his argument. I told you I'm not addicted to this, Mom. I told you I'm not. I told you. Oh, wait. She might have a point.
Well, he was homesick
about this.
He was homesick from school the week before, and he didn't do his homework that he was supposed to do. He didn't do any of his makeup stuff. She found out about it and said, hey, listen, I'm going to have to take your tablet. You're going to have to catch up on this homework. And he was like, well, you're going to have to stop breathing.
Right.
So, yeah, that's not good. I don't know what they do to these kids in Russia.
Well, it's funny, too,
Make him
because
president?
In this article, his teachers are quoted as saying, no, he was fine. He got his homework done. So it's like the teachers are going, I don't know, that mom probably deserved it. He was a good student.
Yeah, he used to bring us chocolate all the time.
Yeah,
he was great.
Good guy.
All right, Karl, let's talk about, let's go down to Florida, shall we?
Oh, there's shit going on in Florida?
You got to get your shit together. Get your shit. Why so many creepy bugs? What the hell is going on there? Maybe it's the swamp gas. Hope they bring up the end get us. Come on, Florida.
I miss you, Sarah Dunlap. We all miss you.
Mm-hmm.
A Florida mother is facing murder and attempted murder charges, Karl, after she allegedly set herself and her 2-year-old and 8-month-old child on fire.
Okay, so based on the last two stories, it sounds like parents 2, kids 1.
Yes.
Okay, parents are up in this one. Good.
Yes. Deputies responded to a fire involving 26-year-old Esther Thelos, 8-month-old Da Vinci Joseph, and an unnamed 2-year-old boy at a home around 6:30 p.m. on August 22nd. Thelos had burns to over half her body, while burns covered 80-90% of Da Vinci's body. A probable cause arrest affidavit said the 2-year-old suffered minor burns. Paramedics rushed all 3 to the hospital on en route. First responders had to resuscitate the baby. Doctors advised they did not expect the child to survive, but he fought for 2 months until he died October 25th. Now,
well, I mean, that's their story. I sound like this hospital sucks. It killed this kid.
Doctors intubated Thelos, and she remains at the hospital. Cops say the 2-year-old is expected to make a full recovery.
Wow.
Detectives discovered Thelos bought a lighter, gas can, and gasoline at a nearby 7-Eleven gas station just moments before she set them all on fire. Earlier in the day, Thelos dropped off the 2-year-old with the man who she said was the father. She told him she and Da Vinci were moving to Fort Lauderdale, and she no longer wanted to care for the older child because she, quote, felt humiliated by him.
So this 2-year-old is scoring points off of his mom, and so she got all upset about that?
She's humiliated, or maybe she's just humiliated that this guy wouldn't take responsibility for him. Like, he says, listen,
she settled the score though.
Well, not to him. This guy's like, whatever, problem solved.
Yeah.
The alleged father refused to care for the child until she got a DNA test to prove the boy belonged to him.
Yep.
After Theos returned from the gas station, she gathered the two kids went outside. Her roommate told detectives that the roommate's daughter walked outside to take out some garbage and was greeted with a horrible sight. She ran inside screaming, she's killing the kids. She's killing the kids. They're all on fire. Neighbors used towels to stifle the flames.
It's really fucked up that crazy is always the best pussy. You know what I mean? Like, people like this shouldn't be getting
knocked also up. Seems to be the most fertile.
Yeah, I know. People like this shouldn't be getting knocked up, and yet they're the ones who have people banging on the door to get in there. It's nuts.
Neighbors used towels to stifle the flames, like I said. And the roommate asked her while she was on fire coming out. She goes, I'm too humiliated. Too much humiliation. Whatever the fuck that means. Now, my favorite part of the story is they spoke with the gas station clerk who sold her the can of gasoline. He was like, I kind of have PTSD. I feel bad. It happened to my store. Everything was provided from my store. Yeah. She murdered a child with it. I mean,
he is supposed to ask, are you going to burn down your young children with this device before he sells it to her? I guess he forgot to do that.
Yeah. You got to check ID.
Aren't there better ways? We've talked about a lot of different ways to get rid of your kids. Mm-hmm. My favorite's always like throwing them off of a bridge or something.
Sure.
But pouring gasoline on them and setting them on fire seems like an awful way to get rid of your children. Now, there are Democrats who would disagree with me and say, no, that should be legal in this country. I get it. I understand. But I just think it's probably a horrible way to go.
You are a sick person.
I might be.
You might be. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Scum Parade for this week. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Creep Off. We're going to be back on Friday. Just a reminder, we are going to be back, and we're putting Uday Hussein into the Hall of Fame. We hope you join us for that.
Yeah, sign up on the Patreon at patreon.com/thecreepoff.
Yeah, there's a little QR code right there in the corner. Or when you go to vote this week at thecreepoff.com, you know, we should check in and see how we're doing over there. Should we check the vote and see where it's at right now?
Yeah,
Karl?
Why not?
Okay, give me 1 second here.
We also have a super chat that came in.
Oh, yeah, we'll hit
it's
those.
It's still Super Chat Monday, everyone. Thank you for hanging with us this afternoon. Happy Veterans Day.
Oh, no.
Shout out to the vets.
Oh, no.
All right, what do we got going on so far?
I can't say I care for this.
Oh, look at this. Karl's got an early lead, 65% of the vote. Raping children is bad. Let's be
My
honest.
guy
people.
knocked up a 15-year-old.
Stop it. They were in love.
He was in love.
They were in love, Vinny.
They had an abortion. They murdered that baby. They murdered that baby.
Now you're trying
Karl, Karl, you know what that means. They're really bad people.
Steve comes in with $2 and says, "Edge of the wheel, work in a movie theater for a week."
I'd do it.
Vinny, you'd probably make more money if you did that. And you get to watch movies for free.
I make way too much money for what I do already. So let's not start those rumors, pal. Folks, great episode. Good times. We'll see you on Friday. And we'll be back Monday with a brand new episode. Don't forget to vote.
Tune in to Point Dabble Point at 4 p.m. Eastern time.
You know what you should do instead of that? Watch this episode again. Watch this twice, and you'll be happier. It's nice to be important, Karl.
It's more important to be nice.
Good gear.
These guys are fucking idiots.
That's true.